Hello traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. So let us begin. We are beginning with VIX 100. As always, we begin analyzing from the weekly time frame. So let us mark our levels. So we have a supply there. So we have our supply there, and then down here we have our demand zone. I can see price is forming a demand zone. As price is moving from this demand zone headed to the supply zone, so my buyers for this week, I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities until that supply zone. So we are going to be looking for buying setups. We go to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we can see price is pushing up from this demand zone. And then if we study the recent price action, we can see a break of structure. So we have a break of structure. So we have a break of structure there. We have a break of structure, and then price just pushed. Price has been pushing up from this order block. Price reacted from the daily order block, and we are pushing up. Price is reacted from the daily order block, and we are pushing up. So this is pretty much it from the daily time frame. If we can see, we have a recent break of structure, so we are going to work with that break of structure from the daily time frame. So that is the break of structure from the daily time frame. We are going to work with that. And then the order block, the recent order block, which is that one, the price is just tapped in and it's pushing up from there. So that is the order block. And then I'm waiting for price to go and clear that level. So we have a resistance up there. If we go to the 4 hours time frame, so from the 4 hours time frame, if we are to adjust, this is the 4-hour order block where price reacted and it's pushing from there. Now, if we are to adjust the recent order block, it's going to be the recent break of structure. The recent break of structure is up there. Is this already played out? So there is no need for this. As this price action already played out, you only work with the recent structures. As we can see, that is our recent break of structure. And then the order block which caused that break of structure from the 4 hours time frame, that is the order block. So we are waiting for a retracement for price to come back and retest, because whenever price breaks a high, it always comes back for a retest or to mitigate that order block. So that's it from the 1 hour. So that was it from the 4 hours. If we come to our 1 hour time frame, which is our entry time frame, So from the 1 hour, adjusting our order blocks from the 1 hour. From the 1 hour, that is where, so that is there, a break of structure that we have in the order block, and it's looking like price is coming back to mitigate our order block. So that is what we have. Price just broke that high into our order block is present. So now we are waiting for price. It's looking like price is coming back to mitigate our order block. Therefore, if we are to enter this trade, we are going to place our entry at that price and then our stop loss slightly below the last week rejection. And then we're going to have two take profits for this trade. So we have that TP. We're going to have the first TP and then the second take profit up there. So if you want to take the trade with me, place a buy limit on volatility 100 with your entry price at 748.32, and then your stop loss at 721.16, and then your TP1 first take profit is going to be at 785.14, and then your second TP is going to be at 833.73. So those are the coordinates of the buy limit. So this is a trade I'm gonna be waiting for to see if it plays out. So as we can see, price is already coming back into our area of interest to mitigate that order block. And then we are going to place a buy position to the upside. So this is what I'm waiting for on volatility 100. It's a clean entry. It's a clean entry, hoping it's going to play out. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for on volatility 100. And then if we go to VIX 101S, if we are to zoom in, so we have a supply zone right there where price has just tapped in and it's looking like it's pushing down. And we have a demand zone here, which is still far. Price is still far from that demand, and I can see price found support at that support level, and it's looking like it's ranging between this support and that demand. So it's looking like price is ranging, but as of right now, the price is at the supply zone. So I'm going to be looking for selling opportunities to this demand zone. So our buyers for this week on VIX 101S, you're going to be looking for selling opportunities until price decides to break that high. Then we'll be looking for buying opportunities to the upside. However, price is finding resistance at that supply zone. Therefore, we're going to be looking for selling opportunities to the downside. Moving on to the daily time frame, we can see price is ranging between this support and the resistance level. And I can see price formed a tweezer top. So that is that pattern is called a tweezer top. That is a reversal candlestick pattern. It's on the daily time frame, which further confirms my bias. So I'm going to be looking for selling opportunities until this support level. And then moving on to the 4 hours time frame. From the 4 hours time frame, we can see that that was the last break of structure. That was the last break of structure to the upside. So we have a break of structure. That was the last break of structure, and then price violated the structure by breaking this lower high. So this is a change of character on the 4 hours time frame. This is to indicate a reversal that this buying trend is over, because price has decided to violate this lower high by breaking it, therefore causing a change of character. That is to indicate the sellers are now in control of this market and they are coming in. So the sellers have momentum, and then the order block, which caused that change of character from the 4 hours. It's that one, because whenever a change of character occurs, price will always go and mitigate the order block, which caused that change of character. So that is our order block from the 4 hours. And if we go to the 1 hour time frame, from the 1 hour time frame, we can be able to see clearly what happened. So that was the last break of structure to the upside. However, the buyers could not maintain the momentum, and the sellers came in at this point where there was a change of character, because buyers were supposed to maintain structure by forming clear higher highs and higher lows. However, this structure was violated, therefore that is a change of character. The change of character, and then the order block which caused the change of character is that order block there, which obviously was not mitigated. Instead, price reacted off the FVG. Price reacted off FVG, change of character. Price went back to go and mitigate the FVG, the fair value gap, the FVG, and then now we are pushing, down. So if we are to study the price action that is happening right now, so we have a break of structure to the downside, and the order block which caused that break of structure is that one, where price reacted and it's pushing down. So I'm trying to find order blocks that were not mitigated. We only deal with order blocks that were not mitigated. So that one has already been mitigated. So that order block has already been mitigated. So that one, we are going to leave it out, because it has already done its work. It was already mitigated. So that is a break of structure. Order block already mitigated. And then I can see there is a recent break of structure here. So that is the most recent break of structure. So we have a break of structure there. So we have a break of structure. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure, it is that order block where price has just stepped in, So for this one, price is already at the order block. And on the 1 hour, we cannot clearly see the candlestick confirmations that I'm looking for. So we are going to go to the M30. So from the M30, we can see price. This is the break of structure. Price has stepped in. It's looking like it's forming a tweezer top. A tweezer top. Why? Because the bodies of the candles are at the same level. So if you want to place a trade here, you can go ahead and place a trade. Instant execution on VIX 101S because the trade is already playing out. So instant execution with your stop loss above, slightly above that high. And then you take profit. Obviously, we are going to have our first take profit there at 895.55. And then our second take profit is going to be at 794.42. And then our third take profit is going to be at 734.43. So you can go ahead and place a position on VIX 101S. As you can see, it's an instant execution because we've just broken structure. Price went back to go and tap into the order block, and we are forming a tweezer top. That is a reversal. That is a reversal candlestick pattern. And you can see it has finished forming. So that's a clear confirmation for you to enter. That is a tweezer top. It is a signal for you to enter, and then you can ride this wave until our last TP at that level. So that's how I keep my analysis. Very simple, very simple, clean setup. As you can see, this one is already playing out. All right, traders, that's how I do my top-down analysis every week. If you did enjoy this analysis, please subscribe to the channel and become part of the family, and see you next week. Happy trading.